The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello, everyone. I've got some great books and great tea to talk about, but before I do, I have some news. I finally finished a project that has been on again, off again with my life, and just personal matters and whatnot, and wondering if I should do it, and the usual blah, blah, blah. Until finally, I just said, sit near the bush, I'm going to do it. So as you guys know, for watching my videos and you know about me, I'm very much into meditation. And I love meditating while writing in a journal or breathing meditation or while drinking tea. And so I finally came up with Viridian tea meditation along with the actual herbal tisane. So like I said, this has been off again, on again for me for years, and I finally just bit the bullet and created it. So what does that mean for you? So the herbal tisane is for sale in my Etsy store, and there's a surprise with that too. And it's only a regular size bags. But with every purchase of the bag, you also receive the guided tea meditation that I created. It only takes you, well, however long it takes you, but the purpose is to sit back with a cup of tea, some herbal tisane, and just reflect and just breathe. Now, as for the herbal tisane, as you can see, it's quite colorful. The ingredients are lavender, orange peel, hibiscus, apples, jasmine, lemongrass, and spearmint. So this is now for sale in the Etsy store, which leads me to my second bit of news is I finally have my own website. That has been off again, on again for quite some time, but it is now Viridian, and that's with an I. I know lots of people spell Viridian with an E, but it's an I. ViridianTeaCompany.com, and it takes you straight to my store, and pretty much everything that's listed on the Etsy store should be listed on this new store as well. There are some items that I'm getting rid of for various reasons, but for those of you who don't really care for Etsy for whatever reason, you can now go to ViridianTeaCompany.com and go straight to all my items. You don't have to sign in or create a guest password or anything like that. So once again, it is ViridianTeaCompany.com. And this is where you can get all my tea blends, all the watercolor artwork of J.W. Bullard, books, and tea, and of course, the newest blend, the Viridian Meditation Herbal Tisane. So if you try it, please let me know what you think of it, and also with the meditation as well. And finally, the other news that I have is that I will be returning as a vendor for the Magic Makers Market, which is always such a blast. It is this Sunday from 11 to 4 at Ant Life in Denver. It's a great group of folks. It's lots of fun. You never know what's going to happen, and everybody there, it just has a great spirit and energy about them. So if you're going to be in Denver this weekend and you're not really sure what to do, stop by Ant Life Space. That's by the Colorado Rockies where they play, and the hours are from 11 to 4 this Sunday. So hopefully I'll see you there. Rightio, so let's get with the books here. So the first book, I have to say, I did not expect a lot, and I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Let me rewind. I didn't know what I was going to expect, mostly because of the author. She is very famous, and I know how some people are like, oh, they're famous, but can they write or can they sing or whatever? So I checked out this person's book, and let me just tell you, I found it very hard to put it down. She is quite a storyteller. Talking about Dylan Farrow and her first young adult fantasy called Hush. So let me read the inside of it for you, of the dust jacket. They use magic to silence the world. In the land of Montaigne, language is literal magic to the select few who possess the gift of telling. This power is reserved for the bards, a group that has almost always been men. Who will break the hush? 17-year-old Shay has lived her entire life in awe of the bards and in fear of the blot, a deadly disease spread by ink, which killed her brother and made her family outcasts. When tragedy strikes again close to home, Shay is convinced the bards are behind the madness. In the silence, the chaos is growing. With a heart set on justice, Shay journeys to unlock the truth, which may be closer than she thinks. Just listen. I love the fact that this horrific plague that spreads through this land is caused by ink, and is caused by words, the written word, spoken word, what have you, and how it takes the form of all of your veins turn this deep blue. In fact, they called it the indigo death. I think that's right. And I like the typical epic fantasy, determine your destiny, all that kind of stuff. But Dylan Farrow is a natural born storyteller. I'm kind of when it comes to young adult children's books. Yeah, adults, of course, but young adult, I'm like, I could take it or leave it, whatever. But she is a natural born storyteller. She pulls you in. She has the same kind of chutzpah as J.L. Mulvihill with The Lost Daughter of Asa, and also the Steel Root series, which if you have not read those series, you really owe it to yourself to read them. But Hush is fantastic. And for those of you who don't know who Dylan Farrow is, she's a writer, mother, and activist for survivors of sexual assault. Growing up in both New York City and rural Connecticut, she spent countless hours drawing and writing for pleasure. After graduating from Bard College, she found a position at CNN as a production assistant and later moved into graphic design. Soon, however, she felt that neither was her calling. Dylan returned to writing full-time, exploring her love of young adult fantasy. Hush is her debut novel, and she is also the daughter of actress Mia Farrow, who was once married to Woody Allen. But I love the concept of the plague, the indigo death. I love Shay. I love how you see her transform through the story. It leaves just enough to get you satisfied and ready for the second book, which I already have it on my library wish list, so I'm looking forward to reading it. But yes, this is a solid story written by and told by a solid storyteller. And it has just enough fantasy where, like I said, you get caught into the story and you don't want to leave. You really don't. So Hush by Dylan Farrow does receive 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. This was an excellent first novel, and I just can't wait to read the second one. So Dylan, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I enjoyed this story, and I'm ready for the second one. And keep writing in this series, really. This is great. So the next book is one that many people have talked about, and I've seen it on Goodreads and on different websites that I follow, and I said, you know what, just bite the bullet and read it. And I'm so glad that I read it, because it did something to me, because part of the story is actually true. And this is The Postcard by Anne Berest. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. But let me just read the dust jacket for you. Anne Berest, The Postcard, is among the most acclaimed and beloved French novels of recent years. Luminous and gripping to the very last page, it is an enthralling investigation into family secrets, a poignant tale of mothers and daughters, the story of a family devastated by the Holocaust and partly restored through the power of storytelling, and a vivid portrait of 20th century Parisian intellectual and artistic life. January 2003. Together with the usual holiday cards, an anonymous postcard is delivered to the Berest family home in Paris. On the front, a photo of the Opéra Garnier. On the back, the names of Anne Berest's maternal great-grandparents, Ephraim and Emma, and their children, Noémie and Jacques, all killed at Auschwitz. 15 years after the postcard is delivered, Anne, the heroine of this novel, is moved to discover who sent it and why. Aided by her chain-smoking mother, friends, a private detective, a graphologist, and many others, she sets out to discover the fate of the Rabinovich family. What emerges is a moving saga that shatters long-held certainties about Anne's family, her country, and herself. I can't really add anything else to this except what a story. And I was right there with her, going back in time and then coming to the present and then going back in time again to solve the mystery of who sent the postcard. And when it's finally revealed who sent the postcard, it's touching. It's very touching and sad. So about the author. She is the best-selling co-author of How to Be Parisian Wherever You Are, and the author of a novel based on the life of French writer Françoise Sagan. With her sister Claire, she is also the author of Gabrielle, a critically acclaimed biography of her great-grandmother, Gabrielle Buffet-Picabia, Marcel Duchamp's lover and muse. She is the great-granddaughter of the painter Francis Picabia. For her work as a writer and prize-winning showrunner, she has been profiled in publications such as French Vogue and Haaretz newspaper. The recipient of numerous literary awards, the postcard was a finalist for the Goncourt Prize and has been a long-selling bestseller in France. So yes, I can't really add anything else to this except what a read that will transform you. And it all begins with a postcard. And I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with the characters. I hated to see what happened to them. But I'm glad that through this mystery, their souls were probably laid to rest and in peace. So for the postcard by Anne Berest, I give it 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. This was an excellent, excellent read. And if you're looking for a literary read to start 2024 off on the right foot, I highly recommend the postcard. And but yes, these 2 books, many thanks to, of course, Arapahoe Library for having Hush and Denver Public Library for having the postcard. I thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. So on to the tea portion. Not really a review, but as I bring over my favorite Rue de la Course mug, that's a great coffee house in New Orleans on Oak Street. They have the best almond croissants. They really, really do. So today's tea is a lovely premium green tea from Stash. And just a little bit about it. Let's see. You'll find balance and bliss with every sip of this classic Japanese-style premium green tea. With its fresh, light notes and soothing aroma, this is the perfect tea to revitalize your mind. And this is just blended green teas. So I've gotten to a point now, and I think it's mostly because of my certification training, I can tell the difference between a Chinese green tea and a Japanese green tea. And this is very Japanese. It has a vegetal taste to it, but also kind of a seaweed kind of taste. Like you're drinking this tea and you're staring out off to the sea or the ocean. You just kind of get that feeling. Now today, I didn't do it, but I normally like to drink this particular green tea with just a little bit of honey because it just kind of enhances the green aspect of the tea. I don't really do sugar unless maybe Earl Grey, but I found that like doing honey with Earl Grey, I don't know, for some reason I just don't care for it. But with the green tea of this particular kind, I love with honey. So from me to you, a little bit of premium green from Stash. One cool thing for me about drinking green tea right now is that yes, we're now in winter and everything is slowing down, recharging. You're not going to see too much greenery, and yet this is perfect for right now. One, because it's hot and it's nice for dealing with a cold day outside, but also this is a nice reminder that spring's gonna come again. and we're going to have more greenery, and we're going to have the flowers blooming and herbs, and trees are going to be blossoming and all kinds of stuff. So this is just a nice, light, quiet reminder that spring is coming. So for right now, give yourself a chance to recharge, settle down, ponder, and just kind of meditate, which is what we're going to do right now. So make sure that you have your cup of tea or a glass of water. Find yourself in a comfortable position, and we're just going to focus on our breathing as we always do. So if you're ready, let's begin. And now let's end this breathing meditation with a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes or allow your eyes to come into focus. And now let's enjoy a sip of your tea or water. That's delicious. Well, that's all I have for today. Many thanks to Dylan Farrow and Barres for their wonderful books. Thank you so much. To the good folks at Stash Tea Company for their delicious premium green tea. And to all y'all out there watching these videos, I appreciate it. I really do. And if you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment if you like. Or if not, just watch it and be like, that was nice. So until the next time, take care of yourself and each other. Raise your teacup high and remember that to drink tea is to enjoy life. I will see you guys really soon. Bye for now.